Are you looking for the best robot vacuum in 2026? Then this video is just for you. Because today, I've taken 4 of the best robot vacuums from Amazon and combined them into one complete video. Each product is reviewed by a different person. Some of them tested it in real homes, and they shared real experience, not just specs. So in this video, you'll see 4 different opinions, 4 real tests, and 4 powerful robot vacuums, all in one place. You don't need to watch multiple videos. You don't need to get confused. Just watch this video till the end, and you'll clearly understand which robot vacuum is best for you. I've also added all product links in the description, so you can check and buy directly from Amazon. So, let's get started.
Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a quick review on the Roborock Qrevo QV35A. So I love that it has LiDAR navigation. It's going to vacuum and mop your house at the same time. We got a clean water tank, a dirty water tank. When it comes back to the docking station, it's going to auto empty everything into the dust bag. You'll have to replace that dust bag about every 2 months. Again, let's take a look. It comes back to the base station and washes the mop pads with cold water. And then it's going to suck the water up into the dirty water tank. Then it blows room temperature air onto the mop pads to dry them. So here's the dustbin. It's going to vacuum everything up into it. Let's take a look at the bottom of it. There's the mop pads. It can lift these mop pads because it has a carpet sensor. So when it senses carpet, it lifts them 10 millimeters. Single side brush. A single brush roller. This brush roller does have some anti-tangle features, but it doesn't extend. Now the mop pads, neither one extends, but again, it can lift them up or down. And once in a while, you will have to replace these. So let's see how the Roborock QV35A does cleaning up these muddy paw prints, corner cleaning, obstacle avoidance, and some really long hairs. Okay, so I told it to start cleaning. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to fill the robot's internal water tank with water. Then it's going to wash the mop pads. That does 2 things. Gets them clean and also gets them wet. Then it's going to suck the water up into the dirty water tank. I really do like the Qrevo app. It does a really good job of mapping your house. I'm telling it to go test this right here. We've got I'm telling it to vacuum and mop. Now for an area like this, I would tell it to vacuum first, then mop, because you'll see, but it's going to do a pretty good job by doing both at the same time. But in the app, you could tell it, go vacuum this room first, then come back and mop it. And that's all right in the app. It's got a smart plan you could use. You could tell it to mop first, vacuum. But in the settings, you could tell it vacuum everywhere first, then go back and mop. Okay, here comes the Roborock Qrevo QV35A. Now, it's probably going to struggle with this cable. Yeah, so it can't avoid cables. Okay, let's see how it does mopping and vacuuming this corner. Now, it cannot extend either brushes, but it did a pretty good job. Now, let's check the long hairs. Ooh, wow. It's doing a really good job of cleaning. Not too bad, pretty good. And it can go under some furniture. So it's going to go around and do the perimeter of the room and then go back and do the center in straight lines. So here's the perimeter of the room that I created. Okay, now it's going to make the straight lines, and it's putting down some really good water. And again, I can control that from 0 to level 30, which I think adding more water does help it clean better, especially when it comes to those muddy paw prints. And I do have it, it's going to do 2 passes. So the first pass will be like this, then the second pass will be like that. So it did kind of sense that tractor. That's pretty nice. So that front optical avoidance sensor is sensing that tractor, and it is going to go around it. right. And if we look here on the map, it doesn't take a picture, but it says it's an obstacle. All right. All right, here's it's going to start cleaning the muddy paw prints. Now we're going to get a little bit of smearing. Those mop pads have to capture that dirt and take it back to the dock. But again, we did a pretty good job. The second pass it'll go like this. So. It's still avoiding that toy, which is good. Right. And I like that the robot has an onboard water tank. It can keep those mop pads wet, which I think is what makes mopping robots work the best. By keeping the mop pads, spraying water on top of them, keeping them wet, helps them capture more dirt. Okay, now it's doing its second pass. Wow, it's doing a really good job. Wow, it's doing a really good job. Okay. There's still a little bit of smearing. If it would go back and wash its mop pads and come back and do one more pass, I think it would be perfectly clean. But we can only set it to do 2 passes. It doesn't have a sensor in the dock that'll tell it to go back and remop an area it just came from. This is a more budget-friendly robot vacuum cleaner. Yeah, it keeps avoiding that toy. So as we can see, there's a little bit of smearing of the dirt right here. It's important to clean in the floor direction. Corners are just okay, but it doesn't have any technology that extends the mop pads or anything. It got most of the long hairs. And again, it's going to finish up over here, and I think it's going to get the rest of that. So I really do like this Qrevo QV35A. I thought it did a really good job. It's going to go back to the base station now, wash the mop pads, auto empty the dustbin, and be ready for its next job. So I hope this video helps. Thanks everybody for watching.
The right robot vacuum will really depend on your space, and so here are 2 that I tested, and I'll share my thoughts as well as the tests that I did so you can see for yourself and make the best decision for your home. Alright, starting with overall feel and build quality, both of these are pretty straightforward to set up. The MAMNV feels a bit more like a full system with the base station, how everything connects together, while the Uninell is a little more minimal and simple, but still clean and well put together. Both of these use LiDAR navigation, so they map your home really efficiently. They're not just randomly bouncing around, they move in clean, organized lines, avoid obstacles very well, and let you set things like no-go zones or specific rooms in the app. In terms of mapping, honestly, both perform very well and similarly get the job done. Now, in terms of suction and cleaning performance, this is where you start to see a real difference. The MAMNV is noticeably stronger when it comes to suction. It does a better job pulling up debris from carpets and picking up heavier messes. The Uninell still performs really well for everyday cleaning like dust, crumbs, and lighter debris, but it's more of a consistent maintenance cleaner rather than a deep clean type of machine. Now, for pet hair and carpet, all right, here's a big thing. If you have pets or a lot of carpet, that extra power on the MAMNV does make a difference. It's just more aggressive in pulling everything out. The Uninell can still handle pet hair, especially on hard floors, but is better suited for lighter day-to-day cleaning rather than the heavy buildup. In terms of battery and runtime, the Uninell actually has a longer runtime, so it can run a bit longer on a single charge, which is helpful for larger spaces. But both will automatically recharge and resume cleaning, so in real world use, you're still getting full coverage either way. Both also have mopping built in, so this is great. This is a big deal in my opinion, and this is more of a maintenance feature than a deep scrub. It's great for keeping floors fresh and picking up fine dust, but you're not replacing a full manual mop with either of these per se, but it's still really nice to have. And in terms of the hand-free experience, both of these have self-emptying bases, which is honestly one of the best features in my opinion, because you're not constantly emptying the bin every day. You could pretty much just let it run and forget about it for weeks at a time. So here's how I'd break it down. If you want stronger suction, deeper cleaning, and something that can handle carpets and pet hair, especially if you have pets, go with the MAMNV. If you want something simple, reliable, and great for everyday maintenance cleaning, especially on hard floors, the Uninell is a really solid option. I do like. I hope this video helped, and thank you so much for watching.
So today we're going to be testing out the Shark vacuum on the carpet with some sugar and some oatmeal here. So we're going to test it out and turn it on to see how well the suction is on the carpet. As you can see, it goes through the sugar and the oatmeal pretty well. I don't see much sugar here. It gets stuck on a little bit right there, but we could see the results here. Went past this area and got most of the sugar, but still a little bit of the oatmeal. I can still feel a tiny bit of the sugar, maybe 2%, very small, but the majority of it did get sucked up, so pretty impressive so far. Next, we move on to the tile floor. As you can see, it's the same thing as the sugar and oatmeal. So we'll see how well this performs, and it kind of pushed away a little bit of the oatmeal, but the majority is getting sucked up, not as much pushing around. So you can see the path that it went on. Basically, it did a U-turn, and you can see the crease usually is pretty hard for the robots to clean, but they did a pretty good job. I can still see a little bit of the sugar. Majority of not of the oatmeal that was in the way got sucked up, so that's pretty good. Just a little bit of issue with the sugar, but overall pretty impressive. Next, we move on to the noise test, and this is the baseline, around 30 to 31 ambient noise. When you start it up, it's around 66 or a high of 70, but usually around 65, 66 range. So pretty quiet on the carpet compared to the other vacuums. But in general, it's still going to be pretty noticeable. On the tile, it's usually going to be a bit louder. As you can see, it's at 70, so about 4 to 5 decibels louder. This is definitely going to be noticeable because speaking volume is around 75, so just below speaking. Next, I want to show you the volume of when it sucks deep debris out of the vacuum here. It is quite loud. As you can hear, it's quite loud. You don't want to be anywhere near this when it is going, but you can put this in the other room. But that said, it is still below speaking level, so it's not too bad. Moving on to a durability test, we're going to use some scissors to scratch the surface to see how durable the materials usually are. You can usually get pretty marks on most robo vacuums. So far, it's been pretty good. I've not added a scratch on the silver or the white part, but the top part is quite reflective. So there's a coating. It did get a mark on the top, so you have to be careful with that spot because it is prone to scratching. But because it's at the top, it's not something to worry about. We'll look at the dock here and see the durability of that. Usually the bond is pretty resistant, and as you can see, it's also the case here with the bottom part that you can't really see. You can see a little light here, a little mark there, but it's not noticeable unless it's in the light. This is the shinier bit, usually a bit more prone. As you can see, I think a tiny mark right there because of the coating, but overall it's pretty impressive with the vacuum and the dock. Most of the cheaper vacuums, they definitely will scratch and mark quite easily, so this is quite good news. Now let's move on to the dock. As you can see, this is what it looks like at the top. You get an indicator that it's plugged in. You push that button to pan and pop out the dustbin that collects all the dust from the vacuum. There's a tab on the side that you push, but you can't open it like that. There's a lot of space inside, also some filters. I don't think you could take those out, but you can definitely clean it out at the bottom. And this is where you can charge it. That's where the vacuum sucks everything up into the dock. You lift this up, and this is one of the multiple filters that it has in the dock. There's another filter down here. This is more of a one that you can clean and take out. So very surprising, because even the high-end vacuums with docks don't have this many air filters. As you can see, the back there, organizing the cables, just a little square at the bottom there, so you have a lot of room to organize. Moving on to the vacuum cleaner, the top there is the AI camera with some buttons to clean. And also we'll return to the dock, and there's some LEDs on the top indicating the battery. Now we'll take a look at the back, and as you can see, there's a removable cage that you could take out the brush and really clean it as thoroughly and kind of get out any hairs that may have been trapped. So this whole thing can come out, which is very convenient when you're cleaning, and it's very easy to put back in as well. So that's one of the reasons this vacuum is so convenient. As you can see at the top there, there's four sensors and reflective squares on the back where it's charging. There's two spinners. But it's only one tab. There's a lot of directional fur and fibers to direct debris inside the vacuum. And overall, just pretty impressive as a total package, with the vacuum having very good suction, the dock being compact, also very good at emptying. So overall, this is just great value.
Hey guys, how you doing? James here, talking about robo vacuums, and this next couple of minutes is going to be just really quickly, out of these three different models, which one is my personal favorite? It's hard for me to make a decision on that, because we are talking about a base model, a very high-end model, and a mid-range model. So if I was to say, oh, well, my most favorite one is, obviously I want the best one possible, but you have to factor in price point as well. Okay, so it's going to be a little more expensive than the base model, but it has features that the other one doesn't. So I'll get to my favorite in a second, but we'll talk about it real quick. They all have LiDAR technology, so they read the room. They all do mopping. This one has spinning brushes, talking about the Dream high-end one. This one has spinning brushes that cycle through clean water, filling it up. It goes out, cleans the room, vacuums, and mops. Okay? Then it parks itself, and all the dirty water is then collected in here. Right? So it's not pushing dirty water around every time it goes out. You can manually change the filters anytime you want to. The filters are on top, right? So, of course I can do that. Of course I can, yeah, there it is, right? That's the filter you're going to be changing. It has a built-in HEPA filter, but the dirt just collects in here, right? It doesn't seem like it holds a lot of dirt. When it's full, it parks itself, self-empties, all the dirt goes into the bag right there, which you keep an eye on occasionally, but so the dirt gets contained. It goes through a filter. It's not pushing dirt all around the area. It's actually collecting the dirt, giving it a quick mop, right? Again, we're looking at the mid-range model. It's black, thinks for itself with LiDAR, lasers, and a camera, so I really like it. Right? And in case you haven't figured out, I'm leaning towards the Roborock Qrevo S5V as my favorite model, and you can see why. It's mid-range. I'm not going to blow the budget. It's going to do everything I want it to do. Again, this one is a white one. May not go in my house. May clash with some of the black furniture I have, and I just like black. So again, it's a personal choice, but in this video, we're talking about my personal favorite one. It has, a couple of features that the other ones don't, okay? So the brush or spinning brush technology is different. It has just the straight rubber rotors, and then it has a bristle one as well, right? So it's going to do a really good clean. Notice the spring action on these wheels. It's going to go carpet to floor, carpet to floor. If you're on floor, it's going to have two of these spinning mops that have the ability to swing out. I don't know if you can see, there's an arm here. I'm moving it out, right? There's an arm here that moves it out. I can't do it when it's not on, but it moves it's not just stuck in a circle. It's a room is usually a square, so you have the spinning brushes, the special bristles, parks itself, empties the dirty and the clean water. So the mops get cleaned, drained, dirty water collected, and then re-soaked in a water or a soapy solution. That's up to you, but I wouldn't use soapy solutions because that leaves a drying film. You just want it to be vacuum clean and then a light kind of wet cloth over it, and that really shows that there's no dirt or dust left at all. But this particular model is called a high-end because it does have a camera. It actually feels heavier. It holds more dirt. The bag is slightly larger, so it's a high-end model, and it's probably got a high-end price. But if you're not fooling around, you just want to get the best model out there, this one is for you. My favorite is the black. I didn't bring up the basic model, but I like it. I like the basic model. It does what it's supposed to do. What I don't like is if I want to mop, I have to physically load it up myself. It doesn't have a clean water, dirty water kind of dispensary. It has to be on me, meaning I have to put water in, let this be soaking wet. If it's dirty, I clean it, and then I empty out the water and refill it on my own. So it's like an extra feature I may or may not use too often, but at least it doesn't have a killer price. It's a basic Robo vacuum cleaner by Roborock, the Q7. It's a great machine, okay? But if I'm forced to have a favorite, of course I'm gonna go with the bigger, nicer black model. That's my personal favorite. I'll let you guys make up your own decision. I'm gonna come back with a video and we're gonna talk about the key differences to help you make a decision on which one's best for you.